Let me start out by saying the foster system has really broken me down lately. There's always something that, some sort of problem everywhere to deal with, but it's gotten to the point where it's really getting to be too much to me, especially at this point of having dealt with it for over 2 years now. But recently, it just seems like struggles with them not having a foster homes. It seems like their solution is just ignore any problems that might be going on with the parents and just try and shove them as home as quickly and as without any caution as possible. I've had it happen now with two kids, and for one of them it was a problem. With me, I didn't have for very long, but I missed multiple days of work because of just issues with daycares and getting violent and wanting to hurt other kids, and then if an adult got in the way, I wanted to hurt them. And so he was a problem for them, and so even though they were just about to go through the hearings for termination rights, instead of terminating the rights, what they decided to do after he had been in the system multiple times and been in the system this time around for 3 years, with a period of time in the middle of it where he had been home for 3 months and decided it was a bad idea. Or after all of this, just simply because they don't want to deal with the problems with the behaviors, the solution is, within 1 week span, instead of terminating rights, which they'd been prolonging for a very long time, obviously, instead of going that route, which if they had been terminated long ago, he would have had no issues. He did really well in his first several foster homes. The behaviors didn't come up until later, as they always do when there's no stability. And they're usually in contact with a parent that teaches them bad things. But anyway, so their solution this time was just shove them home very last minute. The idea came up, and within 1 week they were doing it. And there's no checkups on him. No one's going to the home to make sure things are fine. Just bam, not their problem. Another kid, similar thing, except it's his siblings that kept moving around. So they're just willfully ignoring any problem, any issues, any everything, right? And just shove them home. Just pretend like any issue that crops up isn't an issue, and just everything's fine, right? They just want to get the kid out of the system. So that's their current solution. So I don't know which is better or worse. Their pre-COVID solution, which was every time there's a problem, move them homes, right? That seemed to create plenty more problems. That used to be their solution. Nowadays, they're losing the foster homes. Their solution is just send them home, and ignore any problems. So it's a system. It has me very tired, very worn out. I'm here to help kids. I'm not here to, just help the state pretend like it's caring for them. And in the process, psychologically wear them down, psychologically hurt them. And if I'm being very blunt about it, what's occurring is they teach the kids that no matter what kind of abuse or neglect you get in the home of your birth parent, it's better than the psychological trauma you get in the foster care system. So it basically just tells them to swallow it and deal with it, and it's just the way it's going to be because no one's there to help. But anyhow, I'm gonna probably go about things at a different venue. I've been toying around with some ideas because I've been thinking about if I were to try and promote anything on a legal venue, what kind of laws could help out these kids. And honestly, the only thing I can come up with is just a greater deal of transparency. Obviously, they want to keep the privacy of the kids, but the reality is if they compile, say, 50, 100, beginning to end, sort of exactly what happened for all these different kids, and if they came into the system multiple times, have it documented, 50 to 100, no names, no dates, no locations, you have that privacy. And then there's the transparency of, hey, look, the state decided to do this, and this was the outcome for the kid. You know, if you got a kid that came into the foster care system, you sent them home, and several years later they return into the system as a serial arson at age 8, well, that probably tells you what you need to know from right there, right? The system is sending kids home that shouldn't be getting sent home. Yeah, and that particular kid still now, they don't want to terminate parent rights. Like, they just do not want to terminate parent rights. And so every time there's a court date, court hearing, this, and that, and the other, the poor kids get traumatized even more by an extremely abusive parent because they don't want to terminate their rights. And the kids can't move on. And so the problems remain. But that's where things are these days. So that's why I think I might start to advocate that. Just the system needs to be more transparent. You don't have to give the names, you don't have to give the places, but at least know within a particular state, there's these cases, this was the decision, this was the outcome, and then people can judge for themselves. If they think that what the system is doing is great for kids, okay. But I think a lot of people see, I've had enough kids in my home, I think a lot of people see that the vast majority of what occurs is not good. And once you're informed of that, you can change things. You can change, the legislature can change the laws, People can find solutions, but where everything is just so secret now, no one can come up with solutions except for the people who are on the in, who are the people that promote these ideas. And of course, if they're promoting these ideas, then they think it's good for some reason. So you need to have the outsider perspective. I think things can't improve without that outsider perspective. So I think that might be the venue I go for a little bit. I've got a philosophy degree, so I've got plenty of space by which to try and promote this and argue this. So we'll just see where things go. But for now, I'm going to take a break from the system because I do not feel like I'm helping kids right now. I just do not feel like what I'm doing is helping. So it's time to go at it from another means, another direction. So yes, they've broken me down. Yes, I'm just completely tired. I'm done with dealing with this. But I'm not done fighting for the well-being of kids. So I could never do that. So we'll just see if maybe I can go about it in a different way. Anyway, take care and thanks for watching.